Hello, everybody. Welcome to. I was watching my videos yesterday. I realized I start with "Hello, everybody" all the time. Hello, folks watching. Just so that I can be unique and different today. Yeah, we are playing Have a Familiar Ring, which is a small game I created. You can get it at temporal hiccup.itch.io. It is basically a very simple, straightforward game about a magic user and their familiars in a world of magic. So a lot of it is up to the players as we create the world and what magic means to us. And I'm excited to get into it with our lovely players today. And so before we get into it, I'd like to do introductions. I'll start with myself. Did I say my name? Hi, my name is Jamie, in case I haven't said it. They, them pronouns, please. And I make a lot of games. It's kind of an obsession / problem, but it's fun. It's very fun. Okay, and then so we'll go in the clockwise order of what I can see. So let's go with Daryl. Can you introduce yourselves to us, please?
Yeah, sure. Hi, my name's Daryl, and my pronouns are he, him, and I'm really excited to try this out.
Awesome. And Sherry, go ahead.
Hi, my name is Sherry. My pronouns are she, her. I've played this before, and I'm looking forward to trying this again because I had heavy-duty thoughts about last time. So I'm ready to go.
I love the idea of heavy-duty thoughts. Okay, so the first step that we're going to do is together we're going to create our world of magic. You'll see that here the second column is the one move that we have for the game, but we don't have to look at that right now. What we can focus on is this idea of world of magic. Also, Sherry, just so you know, any of the images are replaceable. I just put them there, but you can feel free to delete. I know how important pictures are to the Gauntlet. But yeah, so what we'll do first, and I would like to state for the recording, we went over our lines and veils and our safety tools before we started to make sure everybody can have a good time. We're using lines and veils, script change, and an open door policy. But yeah, so what we have here first is our world is, and we can choose 1 to 2 things to describe the world. I'm double checking if I made any typos. I worked on this yesterday while listening to Whitney Houston, and I got a little carried away. I think there are no typos. I think I double checked. Yeah, so here are options for what our world is like. We can choose 1 to 2. Our world is our modern day world. It's familiar and mundane. It's alien and different. It's taking place on another planet entirely, a mirror world of our own with a key difference or two, ancient and mystical, when magic was as real could be, or something else that excites us, right? So we can choose 1, choose 2, make up 1, make up 2. Which one of these are calling out to you? I think I'd like one from Sharon, one from Daryl, probably, to round it off. Do you have any ideas?
The mirror world sounds kind of interesting.
Ooh, I like it. And Daryl?
I like the idea of familiar and mundane.
Ooh, okay. Yes, I like where we're going. This is starting to feel cozy already. Yeah, because this game can be as dramatic or as cozy as we like. It can be as antagonistic or as cooperative as we like. So the familiars and the magic user can get along, or they can choose not to. Though it's also important to note that there may be character versus character issues, but there'll never be any like player versus player, really, right? Like we're always be asked to be on the same page. Okay, but let's see. So we are in a mirror world of our own with a key difference or two. What are these key differences?
Let's see here. What would be interesting?
Yeah, kind of like how I'm
Let's
thinking of.
say,
Go ahead.
yeah, no, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just thinking of like how, what are those novels like the Golden Compass and things like that. Like it's basically our world except folks have daemons and stuff like that. Like a few
Mhm.
key differences. Was there something you were thinking of?
What if like everybody's a twin and it's strange if you're not a twin?
Ooh, that's
Ooh,
a good one.
yeah. Okay, I'm gonna type that down. Let me just mute so that my keyboard doesn't drown everybody.
S- So is there a bond that goes along with that that's like more sacred or something like a soul thing or something?
I
Or is that a
mean,
theology?
I bet it's probably like more just like a theological thing. Like, you know, it's just like everyone has a twin. It's you're two parts of the same whole, and it's like strange if you don't. Like maybe some people think it's like you're like double a person, or maybe some people think that you're like like you're incomplete somehow, or maybe there are multiple factions that believe different things.
Yeah, I like that.
Mhm.
Like some of them, if you don't have your twin, they can't do certain jobs or things like that
Mhm.
because you
Ooh,
wouldn't have enough empathy.
Yeah, it's like no matter like who it is or what they think about it, everyone's got an opinion on the fact that you may not have a twin.
That suggests that your twins are like still a big part of your life in some ways. Like that's the assumption.
yeah, absolutely. Mm. Your twin. Yeah. Ooh, I like this a lot. Yeah. Do you want to leave it here for now? Then we'll play to find out, or is there anything else you wanted to add?
We can look at some of the other questions and maybe
Yeah.
refer back to it.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely. And our magic is so these are our choices: secret and illegal, hazardous to ourselves. Oh, I did find a typo. I'll fix that later. Hazardous to ourselves and others, rejuvenating and healing, ancient and ritualized, difficult and unwieldy, ancestral and holy, for the precious few, shared by the many, coveted and tightly regulated, wild and elemental, or something else that inspires us. And you could get two different ones, even if it feels contradictory. But I always recommend to go with your intuition, instinct, what feels right.
how about if uh, the magic requires you to still have your twin,
Mm.
but they have to be separated from you? That it's that sympathy from afar
Mm.
that stretches the bounds between the world and the other world, something like that.
Ooh, I like it. I like it. What do you think, Daryl?
But I don't know which of those that would be.
Oh, that's okay. We
I
can
mean,
just
I
look it
would
up.
say that that would be like difficult and unwieldy
Yeah.
because if the society is built around like honoring and cherishing that bond, then having to separate and also having to face like the recriminations of a society where you're separated from your twin just to do magic.
Oh yeah. So you sort of like and it depends per person again, right? Like do they feel sorry for you, or do they think you're doing something unnecessary or even like bad for choosing to
Mhm.
separate yourself? Ooh, I like it. Let me type that in here. Dowd, do you want to choose a second one, or do you feel happy with this one?
I think that it would be interesting if like it was like kind of coveted and tightly regulated. Like, especially for the fact that, like, since it seems like it's something that's like difficult, then like maybe it's, you know, kind of heavily monitored. How does that sound?
Yeah, I could see that where, yeah, where there's like, you have to have a license or something. Uh,
Or like you have to have like special approval to even like live that far from your twin.
yes. Because it messes up the census. Your credit score is lower if you don't have a twin anymore.
Oh no.
Oh my gosh, the dreaded American credit score. I hear many horror stories about it.
It rules your
It's
life.
crazy. It's crazy how many things it affects.
I
People use it
heard.
for things it's not meant to be used for.
Really? Wow. Oh
Oh
my
yeah.
gosh.
Mm.
Employers will like run it and try to judge you on it, though it doesn't have anything to do with how honest you are. It's about, well, never mind.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. But I get it, I get it. Like there's a lot of privilege and stuff wrapped up in it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, so I like where we're going so far with these licenses or special approvals for magic. Okay, so the last one we have to answer about our world is the relationship between magic and familiars is, um, yeah, so like, does the idea like the familiars come up because of the separation with the twin? Like, are they formed that way, or are familiars a separate entity that aren't necessarily connected to the twin idea?
So I love the idea that they are like ripples, like that they appear like when people are separated from their twins for a long time, and like maybe their existence is even tethered to that. So they're constantly pushing for like more magic, more distance, more separation. Like maybe it's in their best interest or even in their survival to like, you know, push their mage to like more greatly separate or do more magic.
I like it. I like it. Very cool. Familiars are pushing their mages.
Just thinking sort of urban legends of familiars killing the mage's twins. Or
Oh yeah. Even if it's not true, right? But you know, or it could be.
exactly.
hmm
Could
Or
be.
maybe that's one of the rumors is like, you know, it's kind of like the devil's bargain thing. It's like they killed their twin so that they could have magic.
Oh yeah. I like
And
it.
I mean that could just totally be slander, of course.
Yeah. Because like, what's farther than the separation of death between you and your other, between you and your twin? So yeah, I skipped the choices because I was so interested, but I feel like um it could definitely connect. So just in case you want to look at it, the relationship between magics and familiars is beyond our understanding, normal and commonplace, rare and sought after. A result of a grueling ritual seems somewhat appropriate, guided by nature and necessary, recent and groundbreaking. Like, is this a new thing? Inspired by music and song, requiring specific tools and machinery, or something else that moves us. Does any of this like help deepen it, or
I think the idea of the ritual, of essentially the ongoing, um, ongoing ritual of silence between the twins is
ooh,
probably extremely painful.
mhm. Yeah, like you're not even allowed to like communicate in any way, or it'll disrupt the magic somehow.
Mhm.
Ooh, I like it.
And yeah, and yet you still got your bond, your twin bond to them. So like when they're upset or whatever, you could tell, you could feel it from a long ways away.
So
Nice.
I
Okay.
wonder if one twin can access magic because of the separation, can the other twin also access it, or do they have to stay away from magic to keep things intact?
Oh, like one of them has to be the anchor and the other one is the mage.
I think that's interesting, but it could also be interesting that maybe they're fighting over a finite amount of magic.
Ooh.
Like maybe there's like an arrangement that one is giving it to the other or something like that.
Oh, like every twin pair has a different schedule. Like part of the thing is if you're going up against some mage, you try to find out how they share with their twin. So maybe it's one during the waxing moon and the other during the wane, or those kinds of things.
Ooh, yeah. So it just depends on the mage and the
The
mages.
twins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it. I like it. Ooh. Yeah.
So what do they use their magic for then? That's what comes to it. Is it like for prophecy? Is it for
I feel like if it has a bit of government like regulation, that there's probably a public service aspect to it. Like maybe some people are weather workers, or some do like magical repair or transportation or stuff like that.
scrying for spy work?
Could do that too.
Okay. I like that.
Yeah, in the same way that in the government, you could have a desk job or you could have a more serious, intense job, depending on what's needed. Ooh, I like. Okay, I think we have quite a lot in a good way to go with. Let me just make this slightly bigger. Okay, and let's go to our characters. And at any time, just let me know if you want to skip back and forth. So the thing is, one of us is the magic user, and then the other two will become a familiar. So the only real, the only real difference is just what seems more fun to you, because mechanically, we all have to use the magic at the same time. So I feel like maybe we should just take a look at the move, just so we know what we're getting into. But basically, magic, the price of magic, whenever we want to use magic and it asks for a price, turn to each other and answer the following questions. For every yes, add 1 to the roll. For every no, subtract 1 from the roll. So we start with a doozy. Is the magic used for the greater good? And we answer with a yes or no. I honestly cackled when I wrote that line. Because what does that mean? But anyway, and then the second question is, are the magic user and familiars acting in harmony? Next, does this serve the goal of the magic user? And lastly, does this serve the goal of a familiar? So later, when we create characters, you can choose goals. You choose 1 to 2 that you are striving for. And so there are different things that can happen on the band on a 10 or higher, 7 or 9, 6 or lower. Basically, 10 or higher, things go really well. You don't have to pay the price. 7 to 9, there is a price that needs to be paid, and 6 or lower is, and I have to stress this, the magic is still cast. So no matter what, the magic still happens, but it's to great disastrous effect. And there's an additional cost that has to be paid. Does that make sense? Any questions so far? Okay, very cool, very cool. All right, so what are we in the mood for? Who wants to be a magic user, and who wants to be a familiar?
I want to be familiar
Daryl?
because I was a magic user before.
Yeah.
I was thinking that I wanted to be a familiar as well, but if you would prefer to be a familiar, Jamie, I can be the magic user.
Ooh, Both are fun. Oh gosh. What do I want to see Daryl as? That's fun. Let me think. I kind of want to see Daryl as a familiar though. I think that would be really good. For some reason, I just have a feeling it's gonna work out really well that way. So, yeah. But you know, as we make these choices, we make them all together, right? So even though I'm the magic user, we make the choices together. What seems fun? So, and the next important question is, what color would you like to choose so I can hide the other? And then just go ahead and place your names on top of the familiar tab you like.
Hold on. I'm in the wrong version.
Yeah, that's my bad because of the link. Mm-hmm.
No, I kept both of them up, so that's my bad. Okay.
I'm muted. I was just talking the whole time. Take a drink. So where's my tea? Okay, I'll start with being the magic user. I'm leaving the name for last because names are difficult. I am. So these are our choices. Witch of the Earth and Green, Warlock of Pacts and Secrets, Wizard of Study and Intrigue. I guess the question really is like, what's our job in this government, right? These regulations and stuff. Shaman of Spirit and Battle, Priest of Faith and Beauty, Necromancer, Flesh and Bone, Angel of Light and Color, Demon of Whisper and Shadow.
I mean, those are all government jobs. So there's a department for every one of those. You're in good shape.
I was honestly thinking it. But yeah, like, so I guess the question is, do we want it to be kind of like a Miyazaki, Ghibli, what's that? Kiki's Delivery Service kind of thing, or do we want to go push more towards Howl's Moving Castle? I know they're both Ghibli movies. I'm trying to think of other examples.
I mean, Golden Compass, I think, is a pretty good touchstone the other direction, like that kind of like heavier thriller intrigue. My personal vote is like, I'm currently reading Witch Hat Atelier, which is very Ghibli, very Kiki's Delivery Service. We could still get some of that with like the Howls aspect, so I'm fine with that.
Okay.
But I could do the Golden Compass direction too.
How about you, Sherry?
I'm very happy in all of those hemispheres.
Yeah,
so.
I'm also leaning towards like I'm leaning towards like finding our way between Kiki's Delivery Service and Howl's Moving Castle, like how so we can start somewhere. Look at me hover over Demon of Whisper and Shadow. Jamie, you're so predictable. After what I just said, I'm not gonna click it.
I'm gonna do something sweet and kind and filled with death and betrayal.
I'm so predictable. Okay. I like the idea of Witch of the Earth and Green. I think that sort of comes a bit close to that. And then just so we have some space, I'm just gonna ignore the lower half. We're not.
Okay.
Maybe Study and Intrigue. Maybe I can like pick up secrets or get information. Maybe we're messengers. Maybe I kind of like the idea of coming into work every day. There's this, I think my Animal Crossing is showing, like there's this cute desk and all the other witches and wizards are there. And there's like office politics and stuff. How does everyone feel about that though?
That sounds fine.
Yeah. Maybe a part of the setting is routine like military skirmishes, but it's not like maybe it's like just one of those like long protracted wars where like nobody's heart is really in it anymore, but we have to like make sure that we keep on top of it.
Yeah, I like it a lot. I'm just gonna put there witches and wizards. Yeah, and like how young is their character? How old? I kind of like the idea of sometimes you're encouraged to get a witch or a wizard, a magic user who's younger, because it's easier for them to deal with the separation. Like it's harder to do it later in life if you're so used to having your twin. But you know, it's up to us like how young means. Like, are we talking like early 20s or 18, 16?
Oh, yeah, because there are the long protected wars. I like the idea that you've inherited the desk and it has a bunch of paperwork like stacked up from your predecessor that you're supposed to be working through.
Yeah.
Does that make any sense?
I also love that like the kind of typecast that means is like the eager young, like happy to help, like wants to like do a great job kind of character.
Yeah, I love it so much. That's so cute. And let's see, I'm just sorry, I suddenly got an important message. I'm just checking it real quick. Okay, it's not as important as I thought. Never mind, I was fooled. Okay, urgency over importance. So let me share the screen again. But yeah, so very cute. I like this idea. And so I'm thinking maybe young, like, yeah, like a gung-ho, eager to prove self. Let's make them like, in anime, we don't know, like it's 16 to 20 years old, kind of like question mark, right? We can settle on it later. Yeah, and I kind of like the idea that I come from this long line and they believed in doing the government service and it's the right and true thing. Like it's a duty to separate from your twin and to be able to serve the war, blah, 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 so on and so forth. Okay, and then the next question is, my magic is, oh, I answered the question, passed down through generations.
Passed down through generations.
I forgot I wrote that. And others to choose from are a curse placed on those like me, something earned through hard work. I kind of also feel that's possible. A responsibility I never asked for. No, I think she's very cute and cheery. Sudden and unexpected, given as a gift for a generous act. Innate and natural. I kind of like the idea of her being like a little hard worker. Like she's very cute. She does her best.
She was prepared to go alone from the get-go. So she has all sorts of
yeah, so she has all of these like she's mentally prepared for it. Yeah.
Or she thinks she is.
Oh yeah, there you go. That's a good one. That's a good one. Wants to prove herself to her family. Thinks she's ready. Probably not. Let's be honest.
How long has it been since you've been separated for your twin?
Oh yeah, I was gonna ask about that. I think, yeah, I'm like wondering if because like it's been passed down through the generations and people are ready for it. I wonder if they already started separating us a little bit since we were like kids, since we were like 10 or so. Because you have to have that strong bond in the first place, but they didn't want us to get too dependent on each other. I kind of like the idea of it being like we look alike, even though I mean, what is gender? What is, the binary? But basically, my magic user, I'm the girl and they're the boy, but we just look so, it's like Animal Crossing. Like when you change your gender, it doesn't matter. Nothing changes. Like,
It's just different hair.
right? It's
Different
just
hair,
like,
different clothes choices.
yeah, but it's still the same. I kind of feel like
Yeah.
that's the,
But that also means we have like the possibility for like a Prince and a Pauper kind of like twin
yeah.
swap thing.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my gosh, that would be
Yeah.
so cute. Um, yeah, I'm gonna write
Which is
that
what's
down.
more anime than that.
That would actually be an awesome, the second season when the two of you have to switch places because their strengths are the ones that are needed where you are and yours where they are.
Yeah, I can't help but think like because it's been passed down, our family is pretty strong about it. Like, so we've both decided to be mages. Like, it's not an anchor, um, one person doesn't do it situation, but we have to share it. Like I go to work Monday, Wednesday, and then he goes to work Thursday, Saturday. Um, and I'm wondering if he's all the options I wanted to choose, but didn't, like Demon of Whispered Shadow. And, but he's cute. He's still very cute. He's just a cute little wizard spy, is what I'm thinking. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, and all his familiars are like cute little evil Pokemon types. So.
Oh my god. So literally I started playing both Pokemon Shield and Animal Crossing like 3 days ago.
Oh
So,
no.
like all of these things are just like firing on me right now.
Oh my gosh, I also want to get on Sword and Shield. Oh gosh, yeah. But yeah. So, and then my goal as a magic user is, let's see. We have bring about the rebirth of magic, change the relationship between familiars and magic, stop the clock, install the apocalypse. Go about, I'm going to choose this one already. Go about my mundane daily tasks because I have that mountain. I think she comes in, yeah, I'm ready to go. Then she sits at the desk. Why doesn't this pile shrink? I work on it all day and it's the same pile every day. And I think when she's not looking, people like sneak in papers into the pile, like, oh, she'll take care of it. And then the other one, fulfill a promise to a beloved to make a dream come true. I kind of like to make a dream come true, but what is that dream?
Well, you are a wizard of Earth and Green, and it's a war.
Ooh.
So would it be to reclaim the battlefields?
Ooh, I like that. I'll write that down.
What if it was like a little more personal? What if it's like one of the battlefields was like a field where we grew up or something? So maybe we're not like trying to end the war, but maybe we're just trying to push it back so we can have this place back.
Yeah, I like the idea. Like it's a little farmstead that belonged to the family for a long time. And I like the idea that I always bring it up and I'm always thinking about it, but my family is like, oh, but it was there to support the government and it fell to the war. That's fine. These things happen. And she's like, no, like, I want the farm back. Yeah, I like that idea. So I definitely need a cute picture to go with this. I'm just gonna type Miyazaki cute or something and see what comes up. But yeah, so next let's look at our familiar. So Sherry, since you picked the pink one, I think that means you go first.
Yeah. So I like the idea that the familiar, actually came with the desk. And that essentially,
Aww.
though I'm powered by that separation between you and your twin, that's what's expected, I'm essentially here because of a well-written contract. Does that make any sense? It is. I am always here at this desk.
Ooh, I like it. Cute. That's such a great idea. And do you feel like choosing a second one, or like, do you feel like you
Yeah,
enjoy the
I would.
job, or is it kind of rashram, I'm just rah, or a mix of the two?
I, I think that they, how do you say, they enjoy the job, but they would never deign to make that clear. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, yeah.
Everything always has to be put in terms of, well, because I have to. So like that. But yes, careful and likes all the I's dotted and the T's crossed.
Aw,
Just like my contract.
so cute, so cute.
Let's see here. Let's see here. And I would like to hear what Gerald is thinking of. So then I can, for this first one, and then I'll do my second one. How's that? So we can sort of build in parallel.
Yeah. So I think that I am a like freshly manifested familiar for our main character, and I think that I show up because I have served the magic user. Let's see, out of a sense of duty. And what I mean by that is that I am basically like a personification of like the will to do a good job and like to follow the rules. So like I am I imagine that I'm actually just like this like little clockwork kind of like knight or butler or something like that. And that I'm basically like I'm like your alarm clock slash like 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 dictionary of rules slash like all of these things that are trying to keep you on task, but like sets probably hopelessly high expectations for someone who's relatively new to their job, and then probably like has hard times like making peace with the fact that like people are fallible.
Aw, I love that so much. That's so cute. I like that a lot.
So yeah, like my sense of duty is because I just want us to succeed and I want us to do really well.
Perfect, perfect. And Cher, do you have
I've
a
already
second one?
decided my name.
Oh, so
Yeah.
cute. Here, sorry to the people listening.
Oh no, you guys are beating me in the picture thing. Oh dang it, I gotta get working.
No, it's okay. It's okay. This is quick. I think because this picture's so cute, I'm gonna go ahead and make her young. I'm gonna say she's 16. I'm gonna say she's the youngest ever to join the office. Very proud of the fact.
Awesome.
I think her office mates slightly take advantage of it though. They're like, "Yeah, you're cute and sweet. Do more of the work." So
Exactly, gotta prove yourself. It's just you got a lot more energy, right? So okay. So I'm thinking that yeah, the little desk familiar probably with sincere contentment.
aw, cute, cute. That's well hidden.
Okay.
I see the second choice. Daryl has made.
All right.
Yep.
Excellent.
Yeah, I think it's that overzealousness ends up making this little fairy the almost like the butt of the joke a little bit, even though he doesn't know that there's a joke.
Oh, so cute. Perfect. I love it. Fantastic. All right. So if you want to write notes, go ahead. If not, we can take a look at the ring that binds you to Marielle.
I think I'm gonna jot some notes in here. I should have been doing them as I was like
No,
filling it out.
that's okay. No worries. Take your time. It's a very chill game. Cher, do you have a sense for what you look like, or are you finding the perfect picture first?
I'm trying to find the perfect picture. I have a family of things that they might look like, but let's see. It would help if I could spell. I bet it would get so much better.
That's okay. Spelling is hard.
Let's see here.
I'm also prowling around for like perfect picture.
Yeah, I recently I was playing a game with some other folks, and they were like, "Why are you spending so much time looking for the perfect picture?" And I'm like, "Oh, you don't understand. It's so important."
Yeah, it is.
It really is.
Like if you called a bio break right now, I wouldn't leave. I would still be searching frantically for it.
I know. I have a
It's
feeling.
just how important it is. So.
Oh, though we will be calling for a break like near the top of the hour or at the top of the hour, just so everyone's aware.
All right. You got to put an illustration or you're going to get all kinds of. Okay, we're getting somewhere. Did you find one, Gerald?
I think I got as close as I'm gonna get. Like there's apparently a Sega Saturn video game called Clockwork Knight, which has eliminated any result that is not that game.
Seriously? How
I'm lucky.
forward?
I know I even like added like anime Clockwork Knight or like cartoon Clockwork Knight and like nothing.
Try Steampunk Knight.
Oh, why didn't I think of that? Oh goodness. Just throw some gears on it and call it
Exactly.
steampunk.
Exactly. But it might be what you need.
Is it all grungy?
Oh, that's right. You want to be the sparkliest.
I want to like, and also friendly looking.
Yeah, I'm also looking, and a lot of the steampunk knights look a little too like they're on steroids for metal.
Yeah, there's like a little bit of a like a murder spree kind of thing going on, and I'm like, that's just not the tone I'm looking for.
See, I specifically asked for cute, and some of these are not cute. All right. Oh my God.
Wow, I have never heard of the game Clockwork Knight, but it's true. It's all over. It is so.
I hadn't either. I was like, oh, this will be super easy. I know exactly what I can see in my head, and then like nothing.
Wouldn't it be nice if you could draw and just take care of that? I'm so disappointed in myself that I haven't taught myself to draw yet.
So the worst part is like I went to school as an art major. I can draw. I just don't have the time.
Because it does take a lot of
Right.
time, right? Like,
It does take time. Yes.
yeah.
All right. This is kind of, I think, where I am. So I don't know what this is going to look like in the sheet. So let's give it a try.
I saw this one, Daryl, but I'm not sure if it's what you were thinking of.
That is a lot. That's very close. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah,
He looks more clockwork than Gundam, which is or Transformer. Actually, that's what this one kind of looks like.
Yeah, and to be fair, it's still the video game. It's just an artist's version of the video game.
Oh my goodness, it's inescapable.
Yeah, I know. I was thinking it. Who knew?
Like a Sherry, what a teapot?
Exactly. This is little legs. Is that Ghibli enough for you?
Oh, I love it.
Oh, can I see? Can I see? Oh, it's so cute. Okay, wait. I'm gonna share it on the screen so people watching can see how adorable. That's so cute. I can see the personality.
It's amazing.
Is this a real teapot, by the way?
I think it is. I
Oh my
think that if
gosh.
you had a lot of money, you could buy it.
Yeah. I like how we can tell just from looking at it, but yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But it's really cute though. Unmistakably. Okay, I really like this. So look at these three. They're so cute. They can do everything. They can handle anything. So all right, now I feel like maybe we can take a short break here before we get back into the rest of character creation because we've been at it for about an hour already. Yeah, so let me stop the share. And how about we take a 10-minute break? All right, I will see you
Sounds
in
good to me.
10 minutes. Okay, so we're back from our break, and we will continue creating our really cozy, cute characters. I'm really glad I didn't go for my usual edginess, so that's good. Here we go. All right, so, oh, sorry, that was Merlin. I just saw that our familiar's name is Stout. Oh, so cute. Adorable. Uh, so I see here Sherry wrote, Stout remembers everything that has been put on this desk. He knows what has been done and what followed. He likes to think that if only they listen, everything will be fine. And I like how that face really expresses that idea. So do you have an idea for a ring that binds you to Mariel? Once again, you can choose 1 to 2 descriptors.
Well, I think that since Gearhart is like a relatively new familiar and is really obsessed with like details, that perfect, delicate, and intricate is definitely one of the descriptors of his ring.
Beautiful, I like it. Yeah, I like the idea that it's the same color and then maybe the stone in the middle is the same green. Aw.
I think that probably like there's actually like actual ticking gear work in like the band of some sort, and it's just like these little turning gears and things like that, and that when Mariel does magic or something, like the clockwork probably like spins extra fast.
Ooh, that's so cute. I like it. I like it a lot. Very cute. And then how about for Stout? What do we have for their ring? Oh, sorry, I think you're muted.
Dang it, take a drink of your delicious tea. Okay, so it looks poorly made but lovingly worn down. It essentially looks like one of the desk keys for this old ancient desk that's been here in the department for decades. And Stout thinks of it as being of great historical value. Whether anyone else has come to that realization is unclear.
And we're leaning towards probably not, but I don't think anyone will. So are you the oldest familiar? Are you the only familiar that's connected to a desk, or are there a few more of you?
Um, there are other familiars of station is the word that they use for themselves, but almost all of them are sort of place bound. Probably the first mage that was there bound them to the duty that occurred at that place, and that's what they are. Is that Stout is bound to this duty, if that makes any sense. So, but they know of others like that, and the department knows about them. So, I mean, when they sat you here to learn the job, it was for a reason. So,
Right, right. Because Stout was here. Yeah, that makes sense. Cute. I love it. All right. Ooh, and I see we have something new for Gearheart.
Yeah, so that clockwork ring actually requires routine maintenance. And if it's not routinely maintained, the clockwork can get jammed and Gearheart gets jammed with it. So he'll just like
Oh,
lock up and like kind of like malfunction if the ring isn't maintained.
oh, another thing Mariel has to take care of on top of all that paperwork. Yeah, and let's see. Do we feel like we're ready to look into what your goal as a familiar is?
Yeah, I think so. Oh, wow. Some of these are heavy.
Yeah, that's a jamminess. So but yeah, ooh, let me just read it out for people. Break the bond between the magic user and I. Deepen the bonds between the magic user and their true potential. To fall in love for the first time. To settle an old score. To convince that vengeance is the answer. I will say, at one time I ran this game, and someone said, "Yes, I'm going to convince them that the vengeance," and it was like such a petty, cute, small thing. Like the familiar was like, "We're gonna put salt in all of their coffee." Like that was what the entire session was about. Just just putting it out there. And then to discard an old curse or to fulfill an ancient prophecy. Maybe I should add some more cutesy wootsy ones, but yeah. Um, yeah, so I see that Stout has chosen one. Oops, I think you're muted again.
it's like, oh, okay. Uh, these are ones that we could both choose if we wanted. Let's see.
Yeah, you could have more than one, like how they're connected. They could be two different goals if you like. Ooh, I like what you have here, Daryl.
Yeah, I felt like with the world that we've set up, like tackling bureaucracy, that's what Gearhart wants.
Mr. Gearhart, it just
Bureaucracy is your friend. It keeps
yes.
things going. Doesn't matter if you lose one person or 50 people, the world still keeps going because of bureaucracy. It has a long, long tail. Take it from me. Stout.
So cute. I love it.
I think the old curse I want to discard is stout.
Oh my gosh, is this like a Lumiere Cogsworth kind of relationship?
I'm almost certain that it is.
Kid, let me
I
tell
don't
you.
know which one's which.
It's so cute. I just love the idea of these two familiars like kind of like not completely getting along all the time. So cute.
I'm sure that like Stout probably like has a whole bunch of corners that they cut on the regular because it gets the job done, and that probably infuriates Gearhart.
Oh yeah, like those people that
That
have
is
been at the
never-
job for a long time so they know how to get around. Right, right.
Like, that's not following the rules.
There are rules, and then there are rules.
Rules with a capital R and rules with a small r.
Do we have like a name for our government agency? I realized that I was just about to like advance our position at the ministry, and I was just like, I don't know if it's a ministry. Maybe it's a cabinet position. Maybe we're a squadron.
Ooh, good point. I like the sound of ministry though. What do you think, Sherry?
Oh, you.
See, Marty, I'm just helping you out. Essentially, ministry always is a particularly awesome sound. It means there's lots of other people and lots of bureaucracy.
I would love to like spin out like what is the curse that's like that we'd like to that I would like to discard. I think I was joking that Stout is the curse that I want to discard.
Is there a curse that you have that you think that Marielle has, or that the department has?
I kind of would love some like office style hijinks where it's like maybe the water closet is cursed or something, or like maybe there's like or like depending on like is printer or something or like an ink bottle that just like constantly overturns at the worst time or something like that, like something like very slice of lifey.
A leak, a constant leak that moves around, so that like wherever you place the bucket, that's where the leak is, kind of thing.
Oh my god, it moves like on like every 13 hours or something, and so it's no matter when you always come in and it's like dripped on like some paperwork or something.
Oh yeah, I like that a lot. Um, I kind of like the idea that this leak is or was created by a discarded familiar, um, and so they're like "Rah, rah," like they're going around being upset, and so we have to deal with them.
Oh, then I know I settle my old score with.
Ooh, yeah. Did they used to be a station familiar, maybe, and then they lost their way?
Yeah. Oh, well, the position got cut.
Wow, real bureaucracy right there.
Yeah. Exactly.
Sorry, my cat's yelling
Oh
at
my god,
me. Uh-huh.
it's like a rain sprite or something from like the weather department, and they were like, no, we don't need any more rain like in this particular like part of town. So he just like was like spiteful of everyone.
Oh,
Yeah, because when the enemy took over that territory, they didn't need the weather insights for that any longer.
yeah, yeah. I like that idea. That is super cute. We're definitely doing that. So we know what we're going to be focusing for our story, our game today. All right. So let me just share and then we'll finalize our characters. I added this little this cozy steampunk image to our World of Magic tab. Just feels like it's reflective of what we have so far. Yeah, and so let's see. I'll just give everyone a minute to finish the notes, and then we'll jump right into it.
So I guess one question that I have is like, we have this mirror world that feels like still familiar and mundane. Is this like modern days? Are there like computers and printers and stuff like that? Or are we going like hard, like, like Ghibli style, like, we have telephones, but maybe like 1910s, 1920s kind of thing?
Ooh, I kind of like the idea of what those weird things where they say, "What if steam instead of coal?" Like that kind of situation. So like there are computers, but they don't look like the computers we're familiar with. Um, they look kind of steampunky, magical, cute. Like if vaporwave was cute and steampunky. Does that make sense?
Steam wave. Oh my God.
Steam wave.
Vapor punk.
So cute. So there's like an OS and stuff like that, and they have their version of Clippy that never died.
Oh my God. And it has to be something like obnoxious, like, well, I don't know, like a gramophone or something. And
Oh
it plays
yeah.
like this trill that we all have this Pavlovian response to.
Oh my gosh, yeah. It's kind of like the Jitsi voice recording voice.
Oh, oh, that evil robot lady.
It is now 12 o'clock. It is time for your government mandated break. Coming from all the screens.
As a reminder, all employees are not allowed to work more than 6 hours per day.
We do not pay for overtime. We are in a time of war.
Oh my gosh. It's like, please take your mandated like 90-minute lunch break. I love this like cross between it probably being like this like utopian like socialist society that's also like still at war.
So cute. I love everything about this strange world. But now I'm also obsessed with the idea of like vapor punk and steam wave. Like, okay. Do we feel like we're ready to wrap up our characters? All right. Maybe we can start with Gearhart. I know we covered most of it. Is there anything else you wanted to add?
No, I think that probably just the big things to take away from Gearhart are that he like he's a little too like straight on for his own good. Like he definitely like errs on the side of like he doesn't have that much common sense is really what it comes down to. It's just like he's very much like he knows your rule book back and forth, but when it comes to like dealing with like a coworker who's having a bad day or something, he's probably like, I don't know what to do,
Oh, so
but in like
cute.
the most adorably hapless way possible.
Yeah, absolutely. And what do we need to know about Stout, Sherry?
I think the thing is that no matter what it does, it comes back around to the desk and to what he's doing. So even though he can be wise, he's still like everything he has is about this. So we do need to kind of flesh out what your job is. So that everything becomes a, how should we say, the metaphor is always that. So in these times of war,
Yeah, so what Mariel's
so are
job
we,
exactly is. Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Because we know it's like it's like a desk job. We know there's paperwork. Um, maybe what Mariel, and Mariel is gifted, but she's still young. So, uh, what do we think of? Maybe she helps with all of the magical licenses. Maybe there's a way that the government has a procedure about how to check in on the twins and how things are going, and so she has to so she stays at the office most of the time to handle the paperwork, but then she has to go out once in a while to do like house visits or to check in on the city and the mages. What do we think?
So sort of census or like that way of like keeping the full accounting, or is it more in the way of intrigue and actually keeping an eye on them that they're not up to no good?
Ooh, I like the idea of it's technically census is what it's written as, but it's really that. It's a way to like collect these secrets, collect this information. And yeah, because maybe it could be like today's story could also be, aside from, addressing that pesky leak, it could be about Mariel like coming to terms with, are you okay with collecting these secrets from people?
All right. So we have the thing of essentially, ostensibly, it's part of the census desk or census ministry. Ministry of Population, it'd be what it is. Um, and this one is for keeping track of the mages. Yep, that sounds great. So what does a bad mage in this world look like? A
Ooh,
mage gone bad.
yeah, a mage gone bad. A mage gone bad. Uh, I feel like it's silly, right? Like they just use their magic for themselves. Like maybe the last case was this mage created their own like fantasy island, used up a lot of resources irresponsibly, or created a parade, something along those lines. Like it's like silly and selfish. Though technically it's not selfish. It's just that the
Like
government is like,
spoiled,
yeah, uh-huh, uh-huh.
yeah, like, yeah, so they want it turned towards the war effort as opposed to the thing.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So is it something about like the relationship between the twins then? Like that one twin takes the power from the other to do those selfish things? Is that how you sense it? I'm just trying to
Ooh.
get a thing of how, like,
Mm-hmm,
like how you monitor to tell that something's wrong. Like if one of the pair of twins becomes like
mm-hmm,
an anchor, essentially becomes sick or mute or, like desperately ill or in a coma,
mm-hmm,
What if
that
it's what if
mm-hmm,
it's like a siphoning thing? What if
mm-hmm.
like there's like you see things and that's what the census taker is really doing is they're actually observing like the surroundings around the mage to make sure that there's no like so like an abundance of magic, like sort of plants growing really fast or things
Mm-hmm.
being beautiful than they should, or in places where like that draw is happening, like things are gray or things are like kind of decomposing faster, things are kind of feeling worn down, like maybe it's
Mm-hmm.
like an actual like taking of the environment as well.
Yeah, yeah, like it's reflecting that too.
and so does that happen on a smaller scale with yourself, with your twin and yourself? Is like when your twin is drawing, your day is grayer and you're not here
Oh.
at work having fun. And so your bright days are at work.
Maybe we have like maybe there's like some sort of like resource or something that we regularly use. Like maybe that's why everybody just keeps like fresh flowers everywhere or something like that. Like because you give like easy things for like the magic to draw from. And then like that's what you look out for specifically is like, is there an overabundance of things to draw from, or did they not get their hands on things to draw from and that's why it's leaching from the environment around them or something like that.
Like it's a balance. Um, yeah, that needs to be met. And so like I also wonder if when because right, like I can't imagine. Well, it depends on how nice our government is in this world. Like, like when you're not going to work, are you expected to work somewhere else? Or are you expected to just like care for the community, work at home, or uh, is resting considering part of that work?
Oh, that's interesting. Like, it's sort of like in World War II, where there were like bombing raids going over, and you had to shelter and things like that. Are we looking at that kind of wartime, or are we looking at war just off a ways?
I think my preference would be for more like if y'all have seen it, Violet Evergarden kind of feel, where it's like the threat of war is kind of there and it's happening in the backdrop, but like the life that we're leading is a little bit more picturesque, with these occasional reminders that like, this like piece or something like that.
Yeah, yeah, I like that. So it's like there, but it's not something like it's easy for us to forget. Like we're so used to it being there because it doesn't disrupt
So,
our lives too much. Mhm.
so we're in a ceasefire of some sort, but everyone's still spying, and everything's still in the kind of war economy. Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely.
Hmm.
Okay. All right.
Cool.
So when you go to visit a mage, then do you like, is that part of the thing when you go to visit them, is you give them a gift of a fresh flower boutonniere of some sort to put on their lapel as a courtesy?
Yeah, I like that. That's cool. That's cool.
It's
Yeah.
probably like just a thing in our culture that we just give flowers for like everything. Because if we have mages working for the government, then like magic's not a secret. And so like maybe it's like a part of everyone does their part is just like we try to, like everybody grows flowers or something like that.
Like that.
Oh, that's
Window
nice.
boxes everywhere.
Yeah, like some houses crawling with like all these flowers everywhere.
Hmm. Trellises and
Cute, cute.
I'm apparently determined to just make this as lifey as possible.
Definitely, definitely. So, are we ready to start our first scene? Uh,
mhm.
I would like to look at that leak little monster cutie. Um, so I
A
think,
salvo.
yeah. Oh, do we have a name for them?
Yeah, I gave her the name Salvo.
Oh,
So
cute. I
she's a
see it.
what? She was a Weather Watch station familiar.
Oh, I love it. I love it. What does Salvo look like if you look like a teapot?
Oh, geez, that's a good question. Um, hmm. I think Salvo Salvo looks, how should we say, like a little animated rain cloud. So kind of does like the frowny face and like rains a little bit. And like when they throw a good temper tantrum, it's everywhere. But mostly
And if
just like a little cloud that goes around.
and if they really focus with their anger, they can like there are these little lightning bolts that come out that
Oh,
like
yeah.
yeah. So let's say we come into work. Though I guess you're already at the desk there when Marielle comes in. I think Marielle is running to work with a piece of toast in her mouth. Her hair is streaming past her. She hasn't finished putting the other pigtail on, and she's like sort of yelling, but in a cutesy way at Deerheart, like, why you let me wake up late this morning? What happened?
Miss Marielle, I woke you up at the exact time that I always do. It's your fault that you rolled over and went back to sleep.
We already talked about this. I need 13 alarms at least, Gearheart, not just the one.
The standard regulation is 2, Miss Marielle.
Oh, standard regulations. Oh, my pigtail. And then like it's all skewed, like one's towards the back and one's towards the front. And then like it's that thing where like she runs so hard and she like hops on the last leg to turn the corner tightly. No, but we can make it. I think we can make it. Gearheart, we can, let's do some magic so we can get there on time. That should be okay. I can't afford another
Standard regulation. It's like he was about to like launch into why that was like against regulation, but then you're like, oh, avoiding a late mark. It's like, yes, we mustn't be late. So yes, in this particular case, the use of magic is the ideal outcome.
Right. It's for everybody to make sure I can get there on time. We can get there on time and do the job. So it'll be okay. So so I think this is a good time. It's a little early, but I like the idea of Marielle like using her magic like this, and pulling Gearheart and Stout into it. So I think what Marielle is asking is to be able to use her magic of the earth and green, like maybe have the flowers and trees nearby help her move faster so she can get there on time. So let's turn to each other and answer the following questions. For every yes, add 1 to the roll. For every no, subtract 1 from the roll. Is the magic used for the greater good?
Absolutely.
Mario believes so.
I think your heart's a little harder to convince, but he's going along with it.
Okay, so we'll still have a 1 from that. Are the magic user and familiars acting in harmony?
Yeah, I like to think that Stout is on, up on the windowsill, looking out, has been watching since you've come out of the train station and are racing towards us going, come on, Marielle, come on. So yes.
Gearheart really wants to avoid that demerit, so yes.
Okay, so we have a +2. Does this serve the goal of the magic user? Yeah, my goal is to go about my mundane daily tasks. Yes, that's true, and I have to do it on time. Wow, this is working out better than I thought. So, so that's already a +3. Does this serve the goal of a familiar? So we have 2 different goals to look at. Ooh, what do we think? Is it a +1 or a -1 from each of you?
I think it's a +1 from me in the sense that it's that your true potential. You've got to be here to do that. So yeah, I need you here.
I don't feel like this is there to advance our position. I feel like this is there to avoid a demerit, which is not the same thing. So I don't think this fits in with my ideals.
The ideal scenario is Maria would have woken up on time. Yeah, so but that's okay. So that means
after the second alarm.
But 13. So that cancels each other out, but we still have a +3 to the roll, so that's pretty good. I think because I called for this one, I'll go ahead and roll the dice. Let's have 2d6. Yeah, I'm feeling pinkish. Let's see. Oh, where are the dice? Okay. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Is that right? It was a 10, right?
Yep.
Oh my gosh, 10 or high. Good job. So yay! Our bond as familiar magic user sings and no price is required. Wow, Marielle, this is not you should not be rewarded for this behavior. The magic is cast as you wished. Go ahead.
No, I like it. Go.
The magic is cast as you wish, and then some. Choose one additional benefit. A blessing is received. A token of assurance manifests. Magic makes its own desires known to all. Which one excites us out of all of these options?
How about a blessing is received? Then when you do that and you sort of appear in your chair and it's like spinning because you've just popped in there, that you actually frighten off Salvo for a bit. So the leak stops for this morning anyway. It's a minor blessing.
Yeah, no, I love it. That's perfect. Like, and it's so funny because when Marielle and Gearhart show up, like, I feel like the flowers and the vines wrapped around Marielle for a moment, like in a magical girl kind of way, and then boop, disappeared, boop, reappear, like in the seat, and the seat is spinning, and all these blossoms and leaves pop out all over the place, and Salva's like, ah! And like, there's a squelchy sound, you know, like when you like twist your laundry. And Mary says, wow, Gearhart, we did it. That was great.
Yes. Look, we're exactly on time. And like the clock starts, or like the bell tower outside like starts chiming like the 8 o'clock hour.
And Maria like sinks back in her seat. See, I knew we could make it. So yeah, this is just what we'll do every morning then. That should be fine.
No, we shall not, Miss Maria. You will wake up exactly on time tomorrow, so help me.
King alarms, kid.
Hey, Stout, how are you today? You look extra stouty.
Thank you. I'm ready to go.
Oh, yeah. And I look at all the paperwork. Whew, it's just the same size as always, huh? Like I pull it towards me. Whew, okay, why is this wet? What happened? It got soaked through.
Salvo was in a mood last night. Lots of pacing.
Oh no, again. We should do something about Salvo.
I completely agree.
If only to save all of these forms, we'll have to copy them out in triplicate.
Yeah, that's so much work.
That's the regulation, Miss Marielle.
We could. Okay, no more magic. No more magic. All right. So let's. I know there was a form. There was a request somewhere here, and I was like pushing through the papers. Aha! I found it here. There is a complaint about this whole business. So this is open. This is an open ticket. I mean, technically, it's not in my department, but this is for the greater good, right? This is for everybody. If we can get Salvo to stop crying on things.
Wait. What are we doing?
Um,
Can we get her to stop crying?
Yeah, I mean, you must remember a time when Salvo wasn't crying, right?
Yeah, Salvo was busy. There was a whole ministry that radiated around Salvo.
Oh. So we just have to find her a new job, right? That should work. Jobs are easy.
Miss Marielle, that is not our department. That is for the Ministry of External Affairs to decide.
But I already sent the request. Here, I'll show you. And then she's like, she opens the computer, like it comes up, ding, OS, and then there's the gamma phone. Thank you for turning on. Welcome back, Miss Marielle, Mr. Gearhart, Mr. Stout.
That's right.
And there's this like, I feel like there's this like significant pause when the Stout talks to the gamma phone. There's like a history between you two.
Yeah, I think the other thing is that he always kind of walks up to the monitor and puts like these little stick hands he has right on the edge of it and like looks in like he's got to get that close.
Yeah. It's the same
Must be a
gypsy
little
creepy.
nearsighted.
It's like, hello, Stout. You're looking extra red today.
That's right. What is this about? What are you going to tell us?
And
Here's in again.
Yeah, Marielle is that. Should I leave the two of you alone, or?
And Stout kind of looks. You think Stout thinks that this whole setup is like there's another familiar in there? It's just like a cat with the TV, but just doesn't get how any of that works. Knows paper.
Gearhart probably is just like muttering under his breath about like inter-office fraternization.
Now, look, Stout, and then like Mario slowly picks up Stout and puts Stout to the side, so she has better access to the screen. And she types it in. Look, I sent them a message like 2 weeks ago, and they said they're just full up and they don't have the resources or the manpower. We could just be helping, right? Isn't that what good citizens do?
Well, I mean, you want to find something for Salvo to do, right?
Yeah, because that would get her to stop crying, right?
So you need someone who needs to know about weather.
Mm-hmm.
Or we just get rid of Salvo. Either way.
Well,
The
what do you
termination
think here,
of familiars is strictly prohibited.
Okay, I guess we're not doing that.
I mean, could.
The termination of familiars is explicitly prohibited. I will not argue the point again, Stout.
I mean, if you knew how, they pretty much closed up the whole department.
Okay,
But does
you
anyone
two.
need any weather stuff? Maybe
And
we can move her out, you know,
at this point,
make her
like
someone else's problem.
at this point, Gearhart, knowing that he's defeated, as just like, according to the annals of regulations for the year 2046, the Department of Weather Work was disbanded under the auspices of Emperor blah blah blah, and all weather work was relocated to the southern borders. And then I rattle off like a bunch of facts about the southern borders, and then I say, for routine weather work within the capital city, there are approximately 3 approved weather workers. And I like rattle off their names, and then one of them maybe happens to be the name of a child best friend or something.
Ooh, I like that idea.
Oh, yeah. Maybe we can move her desk out of here.
And when you mentioned the childhood's best friend's name, let's name her. Oh my gosh, I was gonna call her Lily Reinhardt, but isn't that a real person? That's like a real character, right?
That's the actress for Betty and from Riverdale.
Why did I think?
It's a very specific name to pull out of the air.
My partner was like, "Did I hear Riverdale? Did I hear?" He loves Riverdale, so that's probably why the name is in my head constantly. He's such a big fan. Let's just go with Lily Hart. So, I'll say like, "Oh yeah, I know Lily. Lily and I were super close. We used to play on that farmstead together all the time. The one that I've been talking to you about, Stout."
Yeah. So you think she'd take Salvo? I mean, the desk?
Well, I don't see why not. I mean, Lily's really cool. How are we going to do that though? Do we have to like get Salvo and bring her over to Lily, or is there something else? Gearhart,
As
what
a
do you think?
reminder, that desk As a reminder, that desk is capital property and must not leave the premises.
I sigh and I go, well, that is kind of the problem. They just like closed the department up. They left all the furniture in there. It's right above us.
Everybody just like looks up at like a spot on the ceiling that's like growing darker and like spreading wider.
Absolutely.
But like the city peeps, they're like in a different building altogether.
And I think that that's the point where, once again, knowing he's defeated, Gearhart is just like, there is a process for requesting a partial refund for time spent on capital work. And then he just like prints out like like touches the like the monitor and then like prints out the form. And like the creepy robot lady is just all like, it's like, that is page 17 out of your 40-page allowance for the week.
We have an allowance? Like Mario like keeps forgetting every week.
If we both sigh when she says that.
If we have an allowance, how do I have so much paper all the time?
It's everyone else's allowance.
Like it's Dawes and Marielle.
Miss Marielle, it's like, Miss Marielle, eventually they're just going to start taking it from your pay. You need to stop printing all of these like these poems and these like things that you keep writing.
But I love these crossword puzzles. It's so much better to use them on paper. Like, so she brings out, she has like a whole collection of like crossword puzzles. Feels so good against the skin, the paper. I can feel all that smartness seeping into my cheek.
It's like the perfect moment for like the ceiling to just bust and like water just pours down on all of us.
Yeah, I agree. And Mario's hair is like wet and dripping. And but Mario looks at the other two. Oh no, Gearhart, are you okay? Did you get wet?
He like waves his arm and it like creaks a little because now he's rusty.
Awesome.
I think we have to go take care of this. Gearhart, come here. Let me see what I can do for you.
He like goes over and like sits on the desk. I'm imagining Gearhart is probably like no taller than like 9 or 10 inches or something like that. And like just sits on the edge of the desk and like holds his little arm out.
Okay. I can take care of that. Yeah. Here's a tiny wind spell. And then so like I think it's a simple enough spell that it's just like singing under her breath just to get things sorted out a little bit so you don't rust. But yeah, and then so Mario will look at the two of you. All right. So yeah, let's go get this done. Do we go to Salvo first or Lily first, or because we have the paperwork which survived somehow magically.
Okay. The paperwork to move the desk?
No, the paperwork to go up to floor 7 where the weather workers work.
Oh, we had to have paperwork for that? Oh, climbs down off the desk.
It's just like, the Capitol is very thorough. We need to have documentation for everything that we do. Those are the regulations.
They would have never known if he hadn't filled that form out. Okay, we got to do it. Let's do it now.
Yeah, come on, Stout. Let's go. Like, I imagine Stout waddling. Like, I'm looking at the picture.
He's always
tiny
a little
legs.
depressed. Yeah. He really hates the steps. That's the thing he hates.
Oh, Stout, I can help you. Come on, let me help you. I can
Oh,
pick you up.
no, I don't need any help. No help.
But you have a handle for picking up,
little,
right?
Yeah, what you see are little stick fingers pop up there, and then the nose, and then kind of like the little
I got you.
Footballs.
I think your heart probably is like climbing down the steps as well, and like standing next to you, but like not offering to help because he knows that you don't want the one to help, but is there to help if you need him.
Yeah, every time he gets up a step, he gives you the side eye and brushes his hands off and starts on the next door.
Your hearts just sound like, at least he observes standard cleanliness procedures.
Okay, so let's cut to I think we'll just set up the next scene and then we can take another short break. Wow, the time is going by so quickly. This game is so cute. So so we get our papers addressed. I kind of like the idea of it's a woman with large thick glasses and her eyes blink 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 behind them, and she stamps her paperwork and we're able to go to the floor. I see us like sort of like there's like a lot of people moving around. We cram into the elevator with all these other mages and their familiars to get to the floor in question. But what's waiting for us when we get there? What does the floor look like, knowing that it's an abandoned or cut section?
I think when you get off and you're in those sort of like fancy government office, like front thing, but like all the sort of doors that open into the offices themselves that are usually sort of like big panel doors that are pushed aside, those are all still closed. So it's in this so it's sort of fancy, but it's a little dusty. There's some like long, tall windows off on the side, and those other doors are all closed.
Ooh.
I think it's probably also like a long room, and like it's pretty much empty aside from like 3 desks at the far end of the room.
I like it. And how do we know that Salvo is here? Like, is it a sound, a smell, or do we see her already?
Yeah, I think that all the windows have a lot of condensation on them, if that makes any sense, because it's always a little moist where Salvo is. Maybe a lot moist.
Yeah, and I like the idea, like she wrote into the condensation, like, oh well, sigh, if only, like all these Eeyore kind of sounds. Like she wrote into the if anyone's out there, if anyone cares. And like
I feel bad for her. I didn't want to feel bad for her.
And like I feel like she went out of her way to make sure it's readable from the outside. So you can see the few windows where she messed it up. So on that note, I think let's go ahead and take a 5-minute break, and then we'll come back and see how things go with Salvo. See you all in 5 minutes.
Sounds good.
Okay, so we're back, and we see the messages on the glass. What happens next? What do we think Salvo does? Or what is Salvo doing?
I mean, I think that like the further we walk into the office, like these just like little like rain showers start like pelting at us, like, you know, like a drizzle here and then like a drizzle there, and it's just like to a point where it's like we don't know where it's coming, and so we're just kind of like walking through this empty room, like trying to spot it before it hits us.
Oh, Gerhard, in my mouth again. What do we do?
And then he's like dancing between rain clouds. It's like, Miss Marielle, I can't even think for a moment.
Oh, here, I'll cover you. Quick, hide in my jacket. Stout, what do we do?
I think you better bring your friend here.
Oh, Lily. Yeah. Yeah. How about we bring her? We can use magic, like the way the magic transported me earlier. We could just transport Lily. That's okay, right?
I wouldn't do that if I were you.
It's against regulations to transport someone without their consent.
Oh, it should be okay.
Miss Marielle, how long has it been since you've spoken with Lily? You said she was an old friend.
Oh, it's just been I'm 60 now, so yeah, it's only 12 years. That's not so long ago.
So Miss Marielle, that would have been before the farmstead fell, huh?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Wow, that was kind of a long time ago. Now that I think, put. Oh, this water.
Uh, I think the best we can do is retreat. Maybe tell Salvo we're going to find someone who can sit at her desk.
Okay, yeah,
You
sure,
got to
sure.
say it. She won't believe me.
Oh, why? What's going on between you two?
I wouldn't say anything is going on between us.
Okay. And then so like Mario picks up the two of you. Let's get out of here. And then she's running with the two of you under her.
I have a question.
I'm shaking my fist back at it. So
Go ahead, Daryl.
Is Stout like full of liquid? Like, is there just like tea sloshing around in him?
only if she made tea this morning. It sounds like we so otherwise no. He's very utilitarian.
That's a good point.
I just also wonder is like when he gets annoyed, does like steam like jet out of his like spout or something like that?
Oh, that's an interesting point. I like that. Yes.
And I was thinking, like, depending on what tea Mario makes, does it affect your personality for the day a little bit?
Yes. I think very much, but he doesn't realize it.
Right. And I think poor Mario doesn't realize
he would
it either.
deny that.
It's like there's a reason that we don't make lapsang soshang in the office anymore. It's because that was the day that Stout just wouldn't even anymore with us.
Yeah.
Oh, so good. Yeah, so like as we're running out, well, as Marielle is running out, carrying you two, she shouts, "Well, we'll be back, Salvo. We'll bring a friend. Don't worry. You'll stop crying soon. It'll be okay. Bye." Does Salvo respond? Do you think?
I think as we get in and the elevator is closing, we see like little zaps of electricity, like little tiny lightning bolts.
Like with that kind of sound. And
I just imagine like the cloud like beating against the door, like floats back and like boom, floats back and boom. But like in a really ineffective way because it's so tiny.
And it waited for the elevator door to close before it did it.
And Mario's like, "Oh, I think she took it well."
I think we should just go see your friend Lily. Lay out the case.
Okay. We'll take the train.
You better take the paperwork for her to get the desk transferred to her office.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Gerhardt, what paperwork do we need? Is this going to come out of my allowance?
Yes, Miss Marielle, I'm afraid it will. And it's like, and unfortunately, there are 4 different forms that we need to print out, and they need to go to 3 different municipal offices.
What? This is so many. Stout, you must know a shortcut.
Yeah, I know a shortcut. So, if we could find a shipment going over to that office right now, all we have to do is get an ad to that shipment.
Oh, wow. That's so smart. That should be okay, Gerhardt.
I know.
Oh, that is improper transportation of capital property. That's against the rules.
Oh, if you fill out the paperwork, then it's within the rules, right?
Only if it's approved by the proper agents.
Well, inherently, a change to a shipment means that someone needed it. And proper agents are in this building. If someone in this building needs it, it's the proper agents.
I don't think that's how it works, Stout.
I'll show you. We'll fill that form out and it'll work like this.
It's like the OS box lady like chimes as soon as we walk in. It's like, your printouts are done. You have 7 pages left in this week's allowance.
7 pages.
Like, it's Monday.
The week just started. Aww. Mariel's like head bends down. All right, no crossword puzzles this week. Ugh, fine. But good idea,
Like,
Scott.
thank you.
Yeah, probably because like before going to bed at night, Mariel's always at. Maybe that's why Mariel doesn't sleep, because she's up late with the crossword puzzles, nagging Gerhard. What do you think this one means?
What's a 7-letter word for? Oh my god.
I like the idea that you have sheets of these, but they all have like 5 words in them. They're like not filled at all.
I just like collecting them. I'm not very good at them. Those are 2 different
You go
skill
through
sets.
the old ones though and go, now I know what this means, you know. So
Oh my god, we have like different notebooks with like crosswords in various stages of completion. Gerhard's like, if only you paid as much attention to your studies.
What? What do you mean? I was a great student. Like pointedly ignoring all the bad grades.
And Gerhard's just basically like, well, if Stout says that these forms are filled out the way they are, then they just need to be put in an envelope and sent down the mail chute.
yep, but first we have to find a shipment that's going there. You know what that means?
What does that mean? I forgot.
We gotta go scout the shipping department.
Ooh, okay, that sounds good, right?
Marielle, we've used all 20 minutes of our break. We need to do actual work.
But this is work. It's gonna help work. It's gonna help us be more efficient. Can you imagine what will happen at the office if all the leaks stopped?
Our efficiency shoots up.
Perhaps this stack of papers would get slightly smaller.
Yeah.
We can
that'd be
dream.
nice. What? No, it's gonna happen. I'm sure of it. It'll shrink. This is the week. This is the week we'll shrink that stack. And you know, she's been saying that for 6 weeks, so.
So I say we just go there for your lunch break, Marielle.
Okay, all right. So back to work first, I guess.
That's right. Let me point some things out to you.
Okay, let's get to it. And then you hear Mario's stomach rumble. Rah, 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 rah. She didn't eat during her break. Wow.
Except for the toast that she sat down, and then it got wet.
Yeah, exactly. So she only had like 1/4 of the toast. It's okay. I work better on an empty stomach anyway. She's like trying to convince herself.
And that it's like that montage where it's just like the like writes a word and then goes and like not Googles something and then like writes another word and then like leans back in her desk and ponders, and like it's just a whole montage. And then it's like an hour later, it's just like 17 words on a page.
Whew, wow, that was a lot of work. Yeah, and then like she stretches out her arms. All right, hey. And then I think that's lunch, right? And then there's like this distant bell tower that's chiming the hour outside. All right, yeah. So where do we go next? I forgot what we were doing.
We're going to go down to shipments, see if they got anything going to the Capitol building where your friend works.
That's right. Okay. All right, let's go do it. And then like as they're running,
And
Mario.
then when we find one, we got to go see your friend.
Sorry, wait 1 second.
Oh, you lost it.
Yeah. So I think this is a good point for us to like fast forward to that section. We go through another montage of us going through another set of elevators, and we see how busy this building is. Do we run into any friends, or are we very like focused on what we need to do?
You guys are new, right? So I like the idea of Stout going through and going, hey, how you doing? Like he knows everyone.
Like literally, like the like Stout has been here longer than like all of the humans, basically.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think that like probably like we get to the shipping docks and then there's just like this like very tall imposing woman that we have like always kind of like seen and admired from afar. It's like her name is like Miranda or something like that, and she's just like probably wearing like overalls or something like that with like the capital crest on them, and she's got a clipboard, and like there's this like the anime introduction of her just like pointing and like commanding people to do things, and like she just looks very official, and like probably Gephardt's just like, such organization, such structure.
And Marielle's like, wow, she's so tall and her hair is so long.
Spine of the building. Let's go see her.
Yeah. Miranda.
Waves his little arms. Yeah, he's waving his arms too. It's like
Well, and I guess she probably like turns around and is like goes and is like, oh hey Stout, and then like actually probably like leans down and like puts like a little finger out for you to shake.
hey. Yeah, definitely. And he's like, Miranda, we need to know a thing, and you're the person who's gonna know it.
And she's just like, sure, what is it? What can I help with?
And he'll point up to Marielle because she's supposed to be learning the biz, and kind of elbows her in the ankle.
Oh, yeah, what was it again? Paperwork. So there's Salvo, and she's leaking and crying all the time, and then it's getting the paperwork wet, and I'm trying to shrink the paperwork, and I've almost hit my quota, and I won't be able to print any more crossword puzzles, and
Okay, so we need to move a desk to the Capitol building.
Oh. And Miranda just like blinks a moment and then like does like the hearty anime girl laugh, like, ah ha ha ha. You're trying to move that old weather familiar's desk. I see.
right,
So,
yeah.
well, if you're looking for she's like, well, if you're looking for a shipment that can handle a desk of that size, and it won't matter if the other things inside get wet, there's one going out today, but I think that's the only one that'll be going out for a while.
Ooh, today.
So all we gotta do is find someone to get it down here in time, huh?
Yeah, that would be all you'd have to do. Just make sure that, well, and you have to make sure that the familiar is going to be comfortably in the desk. We can't have it raining on everything.
Well, I think I know a
And also,
spell.
I'm going to need the paperwork for that transfer.
Oh yeah, we got that printed out. So that's
Yeah, here it is. Like, and it's like actually pretty filled out. Marielle's still pretty good at her job, so she can fill out forms.
It only took 17 words. Thanks.
But yeah.
And like, she probably like just looks over the paperwork and just like kind of like sees the obvious like things that are like not quite filled out, but just kind of like smiles and like stamps it with her like little approval stamp anyway.
See, Gerhardt, I told you we didn't need all those other words. That was fine.
Your heart is just like, Miss Mariel, no.
So, Miss Miranda, any chance we can borrow a couple of strong backs to get that desk down here?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, as long as the familiar is tucked away safely inside and won't get them wet. I've heard that thing can be pretty shocking sometimes.
That's a way of saying it.
Yep.
All right, we're gonna go bring the familiar. So.
Okay.
Well, all right. Well, just make sure you get it done by mid-afternoon. That's when the shipment leaves.
Oh gosh, mid-afternoon.
Right.
Yeah, we can do it. We've got this. And then so like Marielle's already like running off, and then wait, and it comes back for you two. Come on, And then,
Yeah. And we were like, wait, no.
Yeah, exactly. We're running on the shortest little legs. um, and then, did you tell your friend Lily?
yeah, I sent her 16 messages.
And did she receive them?
I look at my, and then it's like the vapor punk version of a cell phone, like it's a
Mhm.
watch thing that's attached to a bracer. And Mario checks it. Yeah, she just keeps replying with okay dot. That's a good sign, right?
I don't know. Would that be a good thing if you said that?
It's an
Hmm.
answer to the affirmative.
Yeah. And I
Okay.
mean, if she
Okay.
was saying okay, like really, like positively, and maybe she was so overwhelmed with the positivity she couldn't type anything else. I'm sure that's what it is.
What did she say okay to?
Well, I did ask and Maria like scrolls through, 45 different questions. And she said okay to all of that, so that's a good sign. Even though the questions contradicted themselves, now that I think about it, it should be okay.
So, so maybe we should go see her for lunch. You've still got 20 minutes.
That's right. Lunch. Oh, we can ask the baker on the way. Yeah, he owes me a favor for helping him out last week, so I'm sure he set aside some curry bread for me today, and it should be enough for the two of us.
All right, let's do this.
And then there's like
Look
another.
at Gearhart because Gearhart always gets the lead.
The your heart like scuttles up on Marielle's like sleeve or something, and then like sits on her shoulder, and then like just waves.
You can see Step kind of geared himself up to leave the building.
It's
We're gonna do
okay.
this because we got to do this.
Yeah, we'll be back soon. Don't worry. And then I put you on top of my head so that you can hold on to the pigtails.
All right, that's perfect. Okay, and we run.
Okay, once again, I have to ask: is there tea inside you, Stout?
I don't think she had time to make it today, so it's just the lid sort of bouncing.
And the lid like comes up and down to bounce along.
Yep, exactly.
So cute. So we grab our curry bread, and Marielle stops herself from putting it in her mouth instinctively. Oh wait, no, this is lunch for people, so not in the mouth yet. Got it. And she stuffs it. She has like all these pockets on the inside of her coat. Yeah, all right. And so we show up. What does like Lily's place look like? Her corner.
Well, she's in the city weather thing, right? Um, so I think she has sort of a tiny little office very high up somewhere and like a window that looks out. And she's like the east weather, there's a west weather, and there's a north weather and a south weather. They all have different windows.
Oh, cute. I love it. Yeah, and so Mary comes in. Daryl, what do we think Lily looks like?
Now I just have this like now I just have Betty in my imagination.
Anime
So
Betty.
you know what we're gonna go for that. Like it's like very much like that anime kind of like ponytail girl. It's like she's got like the shiny forehead, and then like the blonde hair like pulled like aggressively back, and then it's just this giant like curved ponytail with like a little spiral at the end, and then like she's got those little like the little hair ties with like marbles in them, but the marbles have like there's one that has like little storm clouds and like little like thunderbolts going on, and then the other one is just like an autumn day, like you can just see an autumn day inside. And then like she's probably wearing like a it's similar to our uniform, but the city uniforms are like a different color or something. Whereas like our uniform is probably like white or something. Maybe the city ones are yellow, and so she's got that part on.
And I like the idea of when we first see her, it's a frame on her shiny forehead. Like it's kind of twing, like there's that sound effect. Because she's thinking hard. And she's properly doing her paperwork. Like not just not checking Google every few seconds.
Not checking, not Google.
But yeah, and I think when she looks down at those three, she's like, I just like the idea that she talks like, all right, I got your messages. Are you here
All
for
47 of them.
Yeah. Did you really have to send that many? And then like she looks at Gearhart. Don't you know how to control your mage better than this?
I assure you, I do not need to proofread all of her emails. I have many other important executive functions.
Oh, hey,
So the
Stout.
question. Hello, Lady Lily. So we were wondering, would you like a new desk that comes with some weather help? I mean, and we know you don't need it.
Yeah, and then like she sort of squints at Marielle, and then Marielle's like, "Hey," and then Marielle's like super friendly, overly friendly, like really assuming they're still best friends. And Lily is obviously like, "I haven't seen you in forever." Like, there's just a reunion every so often, and that's about it. So, and Marielle is like completely like oblivious to the fact. So I think the question is, how do we convince Lily that it's a good idea? Oh my gosh, my cat just took my Sith cloak and buried himself in it. Brennan! Shh. Oh my gosh. You want to be a Sith Lord? Okay, anyway.
Well, I like the idea that kind of that maybe we realize that our like pitch isn't really that convincing, so we try to like sweeten the deal a little bit with like a little bit of charm magic, you know, just like grease our words a little bit. Because
Yeah.
as a mage, you do have like intrigue, so
I
you're a wizard
do.
of intrigue.
That's
Yeah, I
true.
think
That's true.
Gerhardt ends up whispering in your ear. You're gonna have to lay it on a little thicker.
Yeah, it's just like something along the lines of uh, outline all of the various different ways that the original Weather Watch utilized these kinds of familiars. And then like I feed you like a whole bunch of like random like weather lore that I read in like a manual somewhere.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. And then so like Marielle starts to murmur under her breath, and then there are these quick finger movements as she activates the spell. So let's answer our questions once again. Is the magic used for the greater good? Oops. Yes, Marina. Oh my god.
Yeah, Marilyn is correct. It is being used for the greater good because if we put Salvo, a skilled weather watch familiar, station familiar, in the hands of the city weather watch, that is for the good. Oh
Yeah,
my gosh.
I,
and to give them like purpose again instead of yeah, so that's a +1. Are we acting in harmony? You did, both of you did say how you're helping me.
yes.
Yeah, so I think that's a +2 so far. Does this serve the goal of the magic user? Let's see. Yeah, I think so, because like I like the idea of it starts to dawn on Mario slowly that they're not really best friends anymore, and she's thinking about the farmstead and how they used to play together, and so she's convinced like if she can do this and they can become friends again, it'll be that much sweeter when she gets the farmstead back. So how about the goals of the familiars?
Well, I know that discarding an old curse was definitely one of Gearhart's goals, so I think that is true.
I would say it does do the thing of deepening the bonds between the magic user and your true potential, but settling the building. So it's like a demotion. I don't know.
Yeah, true.
Yes, mostly little no, right?
Oh, I'm so sorry. Every time I unmute, that's when he decides to yell. So yeah, I think that's a plus. This is pretty strong. I'm not gonna jinx it. I'm not gonna say anymore. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So +5. Let's see how it goes. Not gonna say anything.
Ooh, it's a
Oh
good
my
thing you
gosh, I
did
rolled snake eyes. I
it.
am so mad. Anyway,
It's
good thing.
literally,
Look,
I was literally thinking like, what are the chances this is going to be Snake Eyes?
There you go.
I knew
Sufficient.
I was jinxing it because I was already thinking, oh, there's no way we're gonna miss it with like a +5. Anyway, good thing we got the +5 because
Phew.
we're so close to getting a 6. Anyway, so we hit a 7. Gosh, snake eyes. Okay. Our bond as familiar magic user falters for just a moment and a price is demanded. The magic is cast, but there is a complication of some kind. Choose one additional complication. A painful secret is revealed, an important bond is broken, or something precious is lost. So what do we think?
Does that bond have to be between the mage and the familiars?
No, not at all.
Because honestly, like Lily realizing that we're using magic on her is probably not going to sit great with her. And if there was a chance we were going to rebuild that friendship, it's gonna.
Oh, yeah, it could be that much harder, if not closer to impossible. Yeah, I think that makes sense. Like, and then there's this moment where Marielle's eyes widen when she realizes that Lily has caught on. Um, but right as Lily catches on, the charm works anyway. But that knowledge is lodged deep in Lily's like subconscious, like that Marielle is willing to do this. Um, and we see it. Like, how does it look like when the charm magic does its work on Lily?
I think that you see the lighting and like changes if the weather outside has changed. And so what was kind of a cloudy day, like inside here, it's almost like the sun is out, even though it isn't out there.
Ooh, like we have a golden hour kind of moment. Like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's cute. I like that. Yeah, and so and what is it? How does like Lily respond now that she is charmed?
It's probably like it's not like a compulsion really. It was really just to like kind of like like inspire towards the thing that we wanted. And so I think that's one of those things where she like crosses her arms and like gives you this look that's just like, did you really just try to charm me? And but then like just like after a moment like just shrugs and says, well, it would be useful, and I don't see any reason why the city couldn't benefit from it.
Yeah,
Exactly.
you won't regret it, Lily. It'll be fine. And Mario like looks a little heartbroken over how Lily's responding to the charm. Like, it was just charm magic. I didn't think she would react
So
that way. We're friends, weren't we?
I think like Lily just kind of like turns back to her desk and starts typing on her keyboard, and like the impression is definitely that like this is finished now.
Oh, so yeah, we'll just send over the desk. Um, yeah, and then like Mario just leaves the curry bread on the desk. Yeah, uh, bye.
Without even looking, she's just like, "Good day, Marielle."
Right. Good,
I
good,
like
good day.
I like to think that as we're all leaving, Stout looks back at the thing, and he sees Lily pick up the bread and take a bite and set it back down, but then go back to typing. It's just him looking back. So sad.
Aw. Marielle's growing up. And so we head back. I think we just about finished lunch, so we have to go back to work and go through
Mhm.
another montage. I think I like the idea that the printer suddenly stopped working, and so Marielle has to help out and call a tech guy in order to fix things.
Well, we also have to go and get Salvo secured in the desk.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah. So we fast forward. So it's the end of the workday. Oh no, but we have to do it before. So we have to sneak away. Yeah. So Maria has to make up an excuse. Like, stop. What do we tell people we're doing? How do we get away from the desk?
Well, here, you take this piece of paper. You look like you're going somewhere based on what it says. Glance down on it, and then you just walk out like you have to go take care of something.
Right, right. And then she's like practicing. Like she's like, I am serious. I'm very busy. Yes. That works,
Yeah,
right?
but yeah, that works great. Just you only have to do it once.
Oh, just once. Okay. All right, just once.
Your heart just shakes his head and is like, "Miss
Yeah.
Marielle, there's so much paperwork. We're going to have to stay late to finish today."
That's okay. You like paperwork.
"But you'll be the one filling it out."
Oh, that's right. But it's okay. This is for the good of the office and good of Salvo, and this will help. This will help Lily too. So it's okay if I stay past to do the paperwork. It's fine. And but she's like, she's really convincing herself. so
Maybe you could use a little charm magic on yourself.
I know, right? So like Mario leaves, and I like the idea of like there's this boss lady who comes by like full on Victorian meets Harry Potter wizard kind of look, right, with the cloak and the like long flowing robes and this huge witch hat full of gears and stuff, and just like nods at Marielle. Mary's like, oh yeah, paper. I'm super busy. And then like walks past.
Little thumbs up.
Yeah. All right, so we make it back.
I like the idea that we're just both like scurrying behind you as this is happening. like probably like Stout like just waves, and then like your heart like bows to her and then like runs after you.
Yeah, and then so we
Subtle.
make it back to the office, or is there another stop you wanted to make?
We're going up to the 7th floor to go get Salvo into the desk, right?
Yeah. And then so when we show up, I think it's even wetter than last time. And there are more messages on the windows. So people came by and it sucked.
This is like her version of like tweeting.
Yeah.
Tweeting to no one.
That's what Twitter is, though.
You're right. Oh my god.
Oh my god. Yeah, and I imagine like there's just like visible like pools of water on the tile, and like water is kind of just like running down like the walls at different points.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh my gosh. And then so and then Maria like sort of peers around. Hello? Hey, are you there? Salvo? And Sherry, what does Salvo sound like when she finally talks?
Like her voice is really high pitched. Like that she has to squeak it out from another dimension because her cloud form doesn't really give her any physicality. So
Okay.
it's very high like this. Like this.
And then there's like a slight echo.
Yes. It keeps on happening. I don't know why. Can you hear me?
Yeah. I can. Woo! I can hear you. And then like,
why are you here again?
We're here to help you. Please.
Are you to torment me?
Torment you?
Is it like Gearhart like pulls out a piece of paper and like holds it up and is like, "We're here to assign a relocation."
A relocation to what? You finally sent him into the basement. I knew this day was coming.
No, we're not. There's a basement.
There is a basement. I've heard of it.
There's
I don't
three
want to go there.
And like Gearhart's
I
just
won't
like
go there.
Gearhart's like, "There's actually 3 basements, but
No. I'm not going, and I don't care which one you decide me to.
And it's like, Sal, and it turns to Stout. I think we have to calm her down. Stout, could we do what we did last time?
I can hear you.
Oh, yeah. And then I like whisper, Stout, could you pull her in with your like, could you pull her into your body and keep her there until we can put her in the desk? I didn't put any tea in you today. I forgot. But now you're a perfect vessel.
That is so rude.
Well, if I didn't have any internal organs, I would do it.
You'll see him pick up his lid. And he sort of puts it over his little teapot chest if he had one. Like, I will do as you've asked, my lady. And he'll go in there. You'll see him go,
What are you doing?
"Hey, Salvo.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
You're coming close. What's up? Not the basement. Never the basement.
It's not about the basement. You're just going to take a little trip with your desk to another office. I promise."
Another office? What? How can you trust
with
me,
the
Salvo?
weather watch. Well, you can't.
And that's the point where Gearhart like holds up the holds up like a little paper with like a magic circle drawn on it, and it's like a wind charm to like suck Salvo into Gearhart because, or suck Salvo into Stout because Gearhart prepared for this, like without telling you.
Hey, I was going to do that. Because all of a sudden it starts happening when he wasn't ready. He's like, "Oh, God dang."
Okay, I think it's time for us to roll. I like this so much though. So cute. So is the magic being used for the greater good? I think poor Salvo needs to get out of this dump and away from Twitter.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
As do we all.
Let us save ourselves.
So that's a +1. Are we acting in harmony? I know there was some resistance from Stout, but what do you think?
Stout. Oh, he did acquiesce. So yes.
Right. So and Gearhart was prepared. So so that's a +2. Does this serve the goal of the magic user? Yeah, I think this falls under my mundane daily tasks. Like to do it for the office and the good of the office. How about everybody else?
It's pretty much there.
Yeah. To discard an old curse, yeah.
Yeah. So 2, 3. Yeah, 3, 4. Yeah, so +5. I'm not gonna think anything. I'm just gonna roll. You
I couldn't
know,
think anything. That's
I'm
good.
just
I'll
gonna.
believe it when I see it.
Oh my gosh, one was a 1, but the other one's a 4. Oh my gosh, that was so stressful. I'm gonna show everybody.
But that's good though, because that
Yes.
means we got a 10.
Exactly. Oh my gosh. But it's like I thought we like hit it. Okay, anyway, it's fine. I didn't think of anything. That's fine. Okay, so on a 10, there's no prize that's required. Our magic sings together. I love this. And what do we receive? A blessing, a token of assurance. Our magic makes its own desires known to all.
I think I have an idea for that. Like
Sure.
magic makes its desires known to all. I think that like the charm works and like Salvo gets like pulled into Stout like through the top, like through his little like open top hat, and then like all of a sudden like Stout just kind of like glows really bright, and then like steam like shoots out of his spout, and then Salvo like reappears, but as like a white day cloud and not like a stormy rain cloud.
Wow, you're so pretty, Salvo. What? Huh?
I can't.
Huh? What? Huh? Like,
I can't do that high voice.
Yeah, that's okay. I'm actually thinking the voice like changes a little bit because like the magic has helped Salvo become a little more dense. Like it's still high. What do you think, Sherry? Like it's still.
Yeah, sure. That's great. So
yeah. Like I think it's still
she's more
highish.
in herself.
Yeah.
Like a little bell-like, maybe.
Yeah. Like it's a little more melodic. It's like, oh, so well. I didn't realize that you would smell so much like tea, Stout, even though that makes perfect sense.
Yeah, well, let's not talk about those things. If a teapot could blush, he would be blushing. So we got a great package deal for you, a little trip. All you got to do is settle into the desk, and Miranda will take you over to this capital city hall. It'll be great.
Yeah, and then she looks around at the room. Maybe it's time to finally leave. I guess one day you'll leave too, Stout, huh?
Never!
Oh, all right. Like she looks a little shocked. And like she places so there's something like a impression of a hand that's placed on the desk, and there's just a sigh, and the desk becomes new again, and all of the moisture, all of the liquid that was just drowning in this office gets pulled in and regulates properly as she slowly sighs and sets into the desk. And then there's like those little like desk, what do they call those, like nameplates that they put on important desks, like and it turns out there's one for her, like it was all tarnished and stuff and with rust and whatever, but because of the magic it's shining again, and it's like Salvo, first of her kind but never the last.
I'd be all teary-eyed, but it's just Salvo. But I will wait. We'll see that. He does go and stand by the door and waits for Miranda's people to come, and then supervises them all the way down.
Just imagine like these like burly like lifted like men like carrying the desk out, and like Stout just like waddles along after them, like looking a little forlorn, like, oh, goodbye.
Take it.
For some reason, I feel like these burly big men, they're all kind of like really top heavy but short legged. I keep thinking they used to work at a circus for some reason, so they keep bounding around like hop, 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 like as they bring down the desk. Like no explanation whatsoever.
Sort of strange surrealist thing in the middle of it. Yes, that makes sense actually.
But yeah, and I think right. So this is a good place to start wrapping up our story maybe. What do we think? Or did we have another scene in mind?
Well, I think the last scene is just you at your desk after everyone else has left, doing your paperwork.
Gearhart is like shaking out the forms and like trying to dry them out and then placing them on the desk in front of you.
Mario's like, yeah, wow, we're gonna be here for at least another 3 hours, but you know what? It was super worth it. Salvo's much happier. Lily's gonna get a new friend, and things will be drier around here. That's good, right?
It's very good, Miss Marielle.
Now, just 43 more forms to go.
43. Okay. But thanks, Gearhart. Thanks, Stout. I couldn't have done it without you. And but you know what? Before we get into it, I think I'll write a letter. And it ends with her typing a letter to her twin to tell him how the day went and what happened. And so we see bits and pieces of it. And it's that anime montage. Like even though we just watched the episode, there's a flashback sequence of what happened. Even though we just watched it, right? But yeah.
Do they do it where it's all romanticized though? Like that we were all very calm and cool and collected.
Yeah.
I to that.
I think we can cut to the
and they definitely
Go ahead.
They also definitely like repainted each of the cells and like made them like that like kind of pastel memory style like flashback.
Perfect. I love it. Absolutely. And I was like thinking Mariel's twin has this weird idea of what everybody looks like because of Mariel's like descriptions. So he imagines like Gearhart is like 6 feet tall and that Stout looks entirely different. Based on the
and I bet even like the showdown with Salvo like takes on this like she's like this huge like kind of like monstrous form and then's like super happy at the end.
Yeah, absolutely. I love it. Okay, so I think that wraps up our game. Have a familiar ring, but we're going to decompress, do our stars and wishes off the recording. But I'd like to thank so much to everybody who watched this session. It was very cute. I really liked our adorable Miyazaki feels. And that's those snake eyes, but it's okay. It's all right. We got through it. So thank you so much, everybody, for watching. Bye-bye.